All right, everybody. So we're working on the Caddy here. LS turbo swap on the get rid of the 500. Gonna do a 6.0 turbo. Anyways, we're down to the fuel pump, and obviously, originally dealing with just a sending unit with a sending unit which was working good with a suck tube and whatever. And we're trying to get to an in-tank fuel pump. And the reason I want to do the in-tank fuel pump is, you can buy the the fuel rail, or one that's meant to go on the frame rail. But obviously, GM and Ford, they're not doing it that way. And the reason is because in the tank there's all that fuel to cool your pump, and this is just a way better way to do it. So anyways, I got a LQ9 fuel pump, and it should be really high flow for pretty good horsepower. Anyways, so that's what I want to put in my tank. But obviously, that's over a 5-inch, 5.25 actually, circle versus almost 3 inches in the stock hole. Besides the LQ9 sending unit here, there was a float attached to this. No good for my Cadillac. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to retain the stock Cadillac level sensor, and we'll use the vent circuit for the tank still on the stock line there. We're going to trim off the other ones and plug those, and we'll be using the fuel pump assembly and all the wiring from the LQ9 pump, which was actually really cheap. I mean, I got this good used low mileage pump for, I don't know, 60-75 bucks, somewhere in there. So I did have to get a pigtail harness, which I actually had from a different job, and then we're gonna hook up fuel lines from there, and we should be all golden there. But anyway, so the just gonna show the way to get her in the tank here, I guess. So got the tank out here, and there's the stock hole. So we're gonna leave that in there. There's a divider in there, and we're gonna make sure that all clears good from for the float and stuff. And then I actually cut a secondary hole here that's big enough to fit my other pump, but obviously that's not going to seal. You can't just bolt it in there or set it in there. So I got all the tank emptied out the best as possible and soaked up a little bit of fuel out of there. But really, for an old spark way to kind of get a bigger hole cut in there, I did use the air hammer with the sheet metal bit on it, which works pretty good. I've never had any sparks off of that. I mean, it's still a little risky, but anyway, so at this point I'm going to take this tank and let it sit in the sun tomorrow. I got it all dried up on the inside before I do any welding, so this should be pretty safe to weld on tomorrow. And I was just going to show kind of what I came up with for the tank here to get the pump in there and safely sealed. And I actually just cut it all with the torch. It's a little bit crude, but I'll clean it up a little bit with a grinder before I put it in there and stuff, and it'll be a safe, good, positive sealing way to do it. But anyways, so how that works is the pump is gonna go through and then we'll just tighten it down on there. So I'll weld this on here. This will be welded to the tank like that. I'll weld all the way around the outside. I got some cleanup to do and stuff after the tank's totally dried off. And then set the pump in there, and then bolt her down. I mean, it'll have to be nice and even and stuff, but that'll squish the O-ring down really nice that we got going on there. The O-ring actually was included with it. You could put a new one on there, some other sort of seal, but I think the factory O-ring is going to be the best possible way. We're going to get kind of go with what the OE is kind of come up with on this stuff, because obviously it's working. So I'll weld around the outside here the best as possible, and then once it's all cooled off, I'm actually going to put a little bit of insurance on there. I use this Northern brand fuel tank liner, and actually I've put that on over the outside even before and had some luck. You can get it through Auto Value or online anywhere, really. It's a really good product. Nothing really cuts it. You know, if you get it on you, you can't find anything to take it off you. But that's good because you're dealing with gas. So you just would paint the weld on the outside, or you could do it on the inside per the instructions on the can, which pretty much amount to roll the tank, or fill up the tank and roll it around. And I've used it a lot over the years, and it's a really good product. So I don't know what else I got to say about it, but I just wanted to show off there's really nothing out there for a good way to get a pump inside of a tank, so here's how it's gonna work in the end here. So that'll be welded on, pump goes in, and then the ring will go on. So yeah, that's kind of how it's going to end up at the end of the day. Actually, I'm going to probably clock it so the lines are heading out the back of the tank a little bit more, but it'll work out. It's going to be just great. And have this thing ripping. Okay, bye.